All right, bro. How you doing? How
Bro,
you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good. As good as you can be when you're locked up in the yard.
Trust me, man. I see you're wearing a hat and I've got a do-rag on, so you know what that means.
Bro, but to be fair, listen, yeah, you man adopting this grizzly life, bro. I've been doing this. I've been out here. Man, has seen me with the long beard, the long hair. Like, it happens, innit? It's one of them things where, like, this is normal life to me. So, like, it doesn't matter. I've got more hats than any store you're buying hats from. So,
That's
it
what we
don't really
like.
matter.
Man's
So,
new wearing to the socks.
yeah, this is it. This is it, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? That I'm saying. When the care packages land, bro, it's like,
This is what
you
we
get me.
like. This is what
This
we
is
like.
what we like, bro. It's the perks. It's the perks.
All right, so I guess welcome to our show, man. This is the first one. Like we've been to this for time, and we just haven't got around to doing it. But you know, quarantine has let us kick this thing off. So
Mm.
yeah, guys, like we ain't even got a name for the show. We're just going. We're just going.
But we're just going, man. Yeah, I mean, put your suggestions in the comments, in it, and then we'll pick the best one.
Yeah,
That's what we'll do. That's the best thing to do, man.
that's
You
always the
lot
best
come
one.
up with some creative things. So let's see what you got.
All right, so for now, yeah, I'll just introduce myself. My name's Andrew Williams, aka Wills. Um, yeah, we just want to hear talk about sports. We're gonna literally just give our opinions, facts, whatever you want to call it. We're just gonna do our thing. So whether you like it or not, I mean, you know, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, that's brilliant, bro. Do you know what I mean? Even, bro, that could even be the name of the damn thing.
Oh
You know what
snap!
I mean? Because I swear down, that's my
Oh
motto in
snap!
life. Whether you like it or not, we're doing it anyway, fam.
We're
I'm
doing
not
it
gonna lie,
anyway.
we're
We're doing
doing
it
it
anyway.
anyway. We're saying what we want to say. Do you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So yeah, that's brilliant, man. And obviously, Rants in the building, guys. What you lot saying, man? This is long overdue anyway. The quarantine locked it off, bro. We would have been doing this podcast a lot sooner.
Trust me, man. Trust me, man. So I guess let's just kick on. Let's kick off, man. Let's do our thing. So we've been watching the Jordan documentary. First initial thoughts from yourself. What do you think?
Um,
We're on
to
episode
be
4 now as
fair,
well, I think.
yeah, to be fair, I didn't really learn too much about him that I didn't know or didn't think, yeah, but the other players and the other people around him, you got more of an insight in. And I was more interested in that. I was more interested in learning about Phil Jackson, about learning about Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman's a guy that I've always seen growing up, and you kind of know him for his extracurricular activities, but you don't really know about the man behind all that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was good as well, and then obviously with Scotty as well. So just the relationship that he had with his teammates, etc., in terms of MJ. So it was. I think it's really good, bro. I think it's really good.
You know what? Like same kind of thing you said, and we'll get on to MJ. But first things first, I wanted to talk about Dennis Rodman. I want to talk about what was like. I didn't realize how much of a talent he was. He seemed like, honestly, I feel like if he continued to push himself, because I don't even think he was trying that
He
hard.
wasn't. He was just very good.
Yeah, he was just like he wasn't even trying, and he was that good. So imagine if he actually did what MJ did or had the same drive as MJ. Imagine he actually had the same mentality as MJ. He would have actually, I don't know what would have happened. And he was charismatic off the field. I mean, off the
Yeah,
court even. So
yeah.
like, I don't know what we would have got if Dennis Rodman actually was mad focused and wasn't chasing
Yeah.
Madonna.
Yeah.
Get
It's
me?
true though. It's true, but you know what? The fact that he wasn't kind of made him who he was, in it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like you don't get one without the other. If you get a focused head down Dennis Rodman, then you don't get the real Dennis Rodman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like what we saw was like a manifestation of who he was, in it. Like on the court, off the court. That's just who he was. I just don't feel like if you change him, you lose him. Do you know what I
This is
mean?
true. This is true. This is true.
So I think that showing how good he was, yeah, for how little effort he really put in compared to what he could have, that just shows his greatness, bro. And that just reminds me of like Ronaldinho as well, bro. Like man done it in 2, 3 years, shut down the whole scene and said, you know what? I got better things to do with my life, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Football's not it for me. And that doesn't take away your greatness, bro. Like a lot of people do the longevity over your ceiling, but I always put the ceiling before the longevity, bro. If I know what you're capable of, that's enough for me, innit? I don't care
Yeah.
how long you've done it for.
I just um I just wish I just wish that he got the respect that he deserves. I don't feel like Dennis Rodman's respected because Michael. Here's the thing: anybody that Michael respected, obviously he wouldn't come out and just say it and whatnot. So he'd always talk
Mm.
about Scotty because Scotty. Maybe he felt like Scotty needed that what do they call it? Um,
Or
he
just the
needs to be carried. Like
gratification,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he needed that gratification. Whereas Dennis Rodman he just did his thing. So I really feel like at the same time, MJ could have helped him out a bit more there. Like just give him his credit and his flowers in public. It probably would have done a lot more. Maybe we wouldn't have seen him go too crazy because at the same time, him going AWOL for I think it was 72 hours or
No,
even
they
more
gave him
maybe.
72 hours and he went missing for like a week,
He went
cuz.
for a week. There you go. Here, this is what I'm saying. Him going missing for that long. Obviously, he did what Michael said. He did what MJ said, but like him going missing for that long was a little bit of a fu. Really,
Yeah,
if you really think about it, it was like, all right, cool.
yeah,
Now Scotty's back. Like I'm just what you just tossed me away. Do you get what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that leads to my other point. But I'm gonna let you go and see what you think of the
Yeah,
whole.
I don't think that Rodman didn't need it. Yeah, I just think that he didn't get it because MJ was more about who would make him look good and help him, and that was
Yeah,
Scotty in it. And it's only when Scotty got injured, it was like, all right, cool, I need you now, blood. Like, not the team needs you. It's like I need you, bro. But when Scotty's here, I don't need you. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's what I got from it. It showed me, yeah, as much as he was a driven winner, he was very much about himself, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you hear a lot of the language he uses, it's not about us, it's I.
yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And even when my man, when Phil come in and he said, "Oh, there's no I in team," and he said, "Yeah, but there's an I in win, blood." Do you see?
I
Do you
like
see
that one.
what
Though, I can't lie. That was funny.
there is? But it shows you that he was very much about himself, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And the team success came secondary to it. Like even when he said, "I want to be mentioned in the same breath as Magic and Larry," you know them ones. It's
Yeah.
like it's not about them, man. So for me, the real hero of this story is Phil Jackson, bro. Because for him to come in and change MJ's mentality from me to saying, yo, this is a team sport, yeah. I don't care if there's 5 seconds left. You pass it and let someone take the shot. Like you don't always have to take the shot. You know what I mean? So I think the ability to change someone like him, his mentality, you man management on a million because MJ's ego was through the roof. You know them ones.
See,
So
and that goes to that goes to the next point. What happens if Pax misses that shot? You know, the initial shot
yeah.
that he was like, "Oh, okay, let's see if you can do it again," and then
Mm.
and then
And then he
obviously,
just starts bucket city. But you
yeah,
know what? If he misses that shot, yeah,
what
then
happens?
MJ probably turns on the manager, innit? Because he didn't really want him in the first place. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, very
So
true.
it's kind of like it's fine margins, bro. Like, but that's life, innit? And that's why I think it's weird with basketball because people talk about player power in football, but in basketball, it's even more so. Like,
Even more so for sure, and especially us coming from the UK and whatnot, and seeing it in a different way. I do think that let's be real, they've got it right over there. Players should have more power over here as well. That's a whole
yeah,
other conversation that we will get into at some
yeah,
point. But like, I just think, like you said, Phil Jackson coming in, changing the mindset of MJ, changing the philosophy of the Bulls team, and I guess Jerry Krause also making some tough decisions.
yeah,
Um, I think that literally starts the dynasty. So let's give it up for Mr. Phil Jackson. But I
yeah,
just
absolutely.
but again, it comes to what you just said, what you said about MJ being for himself. Is MJ the most selfish player in sports history?
I think him and Cristiano Ronaldo can fight it out, innit? Do
Man
you know what
said
I mean?
fire out.
I think they can fight it out, bro. Honestly, and the thing is, yeah, you have to have a bit of single mindedness in you, yeah, to get to a certain level of any craft in it. You have to have that tunnel vision. But I think when you play a team sport, yeah, it can be detrimental if things don't go right. Do you see what
Okay.
I'm saying? Because for all the man you cuss out when you're winning, as soon as you start losing, people start side-eyeing you. That's why Jose Mourinho, yeah, has a 3-year window, because the way he manages and the way he interacts with people, it's all right when you're winning. As soon as you're not winning, the players are starting to say, "Hold on, who's this guy talking to, bro?" Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like when MJ didn't wanna pass the ball, and it's like, say he misses that shot on the buzzer, the man are looking at him saying, "Well, boy, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah. No, it's
shouldn't have
true.
taken that shot." Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like when you're winning, it's all right. And the same goes with Pep. Loads of people talk about his man management as well. Like, there's loads of ex-players that say, right, he didn't talk to me, he dashed me in the reserves, he didn't even tell me why he wasn't playing me. Like, them things are all right, upset in the dressing room when you're winning. People overlook certain methods and certain things. But as soon as Ronaldo, you miss that penalty, and then your team goes out, then it's all like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything's all rosy when you're winning, but when you're not, it's a different story. And I just think between the two of them, I think personally, because of the character I am, I would hate to be in a team with either of them. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I think that we would clash. Do you know what I'm saying? However, like, they're the kind of teammates that you love. You love them on your team when you're winning, and when you're not winning, you just don't want to hear them in your ear, bruv.
That's the thing. Can you imagine? Here's this is what. All right. I want to hear stories, like real stories about the like football teams, like the same way that we're finding out that um uh MJ and Jerry Krause didn't like each other.
Yeah,
Scottie Pippen didn't like Jerry Krause, and they had a big heated fight
yeah,
on the bus.
yeah,
I want to find these things out about the top players around the world in their sport. Obviously, things like golf, tennis, and the individual sports are a little bit different because
yeah,
obviously it's all about you. But we're in a team environment where you are number one. You are that player. You are the asset. You are the
yeah,
person that puts the the bum in seats.
yeah,
How do you shelter your ego?
yeah.
Because Me- from what we see, Messi's done that. Can you imagine Messi punching somebody or something like
No,
that?
but you know what it is with Lionel Messi? I think Messi's ego, yeah, is different. I think Messi's ego is kind of like he'll silently do things, isn't it? Like, because if you look at all the stars that have gone to Barcelona have failed.
Yeah,
Antoine Griezmann, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, all these guys go, yeah, and it's the Messi show, innit? And the thing is, when egos collide, Messi always comes out on top. So you
yeah,
can't tell me that Leo ain't pulling strings at that club. He is, innit? But how he does it is like there was a video of like when Messi was busting joke with everyone and Griezmann came by and he just ignored man and that. Like he'll kind of do it like that. Whereas Cristiano would just be like, cool, not passing you the ball, fam. Like it just is what it is, isn't it? Whereas Messi will pass you the ball, but he'll leave you out the banter. You know them ones. And that's still a form of
damn,
bullying, blood. That's still a form of bullying.
damn,
Bruv, like Messi's got an ego, massive ego, bro. I saw a video of him jogging on a treadmill watching highlights of himself, bro. Like, come on. Like, come on now. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? It don't really get more egotistical than that. But the difference is Messi's a quiet guy, and because he doesn't look like Cristiano is very flamboyant in a way that like he's always got his top off, he's always doing press ups on the gram and that. Like he's very much like out there so people can judge him. Whereas Messi keeps his stuff behind closed doors. But I believe Messi's sitting down with like the chairman and that and pulling strings, really.
Well,
Really,
yeah,
bro.
it's the same thing as MJ a little bit. I guess
Yeah.
maybe not from a general manager position, but like um, Phil Jackson goes to him and says Dennis Rodman wants a couple of days off. Should we let him do it instead of
Mm.
obviously him, the coach, being like, "Yo, go ahead and do it." But again, that comes to the next point. Has the football system got it wrong?
I don't think it's the football system. I just think that it's the culture here, innit? Like I think the culture in the US and the culture in the UK are very different. Like
Yeah,
they kind of like flamboyant players. They allow their players to have a personality. Look at Russell Westbrook. Look at the way he deals with journalists. Do you think that if a footballer came out and was just coating off journalists the way these men do it, yeah, they couldn't get away with that. They'll be getting FA fines, this, that, and the other. Like you're allowed a certain element of freedom of expression in America. Like, do you know what I mean? When I was growing up, Allen Iverson was like my player, bro. Like, I pierced my ears, everything, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, guy turned up looking like a rapper with bling, like Kane wrote everything, tattoos everywhere, and he was embraced. Like, if in football in this country, if there was a player that looked like that, they're getting coated, bro. Do you know what I mean? Look what they're doing to Pogba, and Pogba ain't half as flamboyant as Allen Iverson, bro.
Let's segue into that. Let's segue into that. I do think that football is changing. I do think that Pogba, the likes of Pogba, the likes of like Moise. Like, I'll tell you this though, the Premier League wasn't ready for Moise Kean. That's why he needs to
No,
leave. He needs to leave. Like, we're not ready for him, unfortunately. Like,
yeah,
he's gonna be a star.
yeah,
He's a star. The star quality is already there. I know he did a bit of a madness. That's, hey man, get me? 18, 19, whatever, however old he
yeah,
is, did a bit of a
yeah.
madness. It is what it is. But he has the star quality that if you put him on the field and if you let him
Do his
do
thing.
his thing, kind of what I can't remember the guy's name, Chuck something. I can't remember, but he was the Detroit Pistons manager. He said you don't put a saddle on a Mustang,
On a Mustang, you don't, yeah.
you know. And he's one of those players. He's one of those
There's
players
a lot
that,
of players like that, but you have to be a special kind of manager to deal with those kind of players, isn't it? Like, they're
yeah,
mavericks, bro. Like, Memphis is the same, bro. Like, I love Memphis the Pie, bro. It's just like one of them ones where guys just let them do what they need to do. As long as they're
performing.
training hard
Yep,
and they're performing, whatever they do in their personal life, you leave them in it. And I think that's why I think that Phil Jackson is the best. I think he's the best coach in the history of sport, bro.
I
Because
I I to a degree think that too. I do because of I feel like his way of thinking, management wise, is the best, and
yeah,
he done it
I
in
do.
two teams.
But there you
So
go with massive
with
egos.
massive egos, whereas let's just say Sir Alex Ferguson, massive
Sir Alex
egos.
Ferguson couldn't handle a player like Dennis Rodman. He would have sold
Well,
him.
yeah, but look
He
what he
got
did.
rid of David Beckham.
Beckham
Yeah,
was like this much of Dennis Rodman, and
yeah.
he man got
He couldn't
hairdryer
handle it.
treatment, and he
Do
got
you know what I
hairdryer.
mean? For me, Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest football manager of all time.
Yeah,
But when you look at the way he managed certain players, and when you look at like Beckham, for example, anything that Sir Alex couldn't control, he didn't like. He didn't like the fact that Beckham was married to who he was married to. He didn't like the fact that he had other things going on outside football. Everyone knows that Sir Alex Ferguson liked his players to get married young, settle down, have
yeah,
families, and just stay inside.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So people like Pogba were nightmare for him. You know what I mean? People like Beckham, nightmare for him. Can you imagine him managing players like Pogba, Memphis, Moise Keane, and all them man there? No way. Do you know what I
It
mean?
could,
Phil
yeah,
Jackson would have
it could
sorted
happen.
them, man.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been easy, nice and
Yeah,
easy.
it would have
But
been
then,
sorted.
I do say this. What was I about to say? Damn, that was a good take as well. Damn, it's gone out my head, man. That's annoying. You know when
It
that
will come
happens?
back. It will come
No,
back.
no, that was it. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, yeah,
He
boy.
is
I think he's second for me.
he is the mix of the two. Maybe like 70% Alex Ferguson, 30%
Yeah,
Phil Jackson. Because as long as you are performing, he doesn't care
yeah,
whatsoever. He will back you. He will say what he needs to say, or he won't even say anything. Actually, he might not just
yeah.
say. He might not say anything. So Bill Belichick for me, I think he's probably a good hybrid because he reminds me of.
He's a lot of people's number one, to be fair, in terms of
Now I think
coaches. In America, they would say
he's
probably
number
that
one.
he's the greatest coach of all time because I think the NFL is just the biggest sport in it. But
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't agree. I definitely can't. I can't back them on that because
yeah,
this is why I have to go with Phil Jackson. My
mm,
guy had the big, not one of. He had the biggest ego, the biggest monster. Not he's not a monster. Sorry, MJ's not a monster, but the
no, but
biggest.
the ego was a monster.
I, I
It
kind
was a
of.
monster level ego, bro, and he had them big 8 foot man doing yoga, fam.
This is true.
In
This is
the
true.
80s, get out of it,
This is
bro.
true. This is true. It was way
Yo,
before his time. Way before
way
his.
before his time. He had them big man barefoot doing yoga on a mat. Like, how do you do that? You know the amount of respect these men have to have for you for them to take that on board at a time where that wasn't happening, bro. Like yoga and them things only started coming into football recently, bro. When I was
Yeah,
playing, we never used to do none of that. Like we're going to the gym, all the stuff like the core stuff, the Swiss ball, the TRX, and that's coming within the last 10 years, you know.
Yeah, no, true.
That core stuff is all new in football compared to the other stuff. Like more times, a lot of these men weren't even in the gym during football. Do you know what I'm saying? It was outside, run through cones, go home.
Yeah. And this is why Phil Jackson's one of the best. The foresight. I don't know what we still don't know what actually. I know he said like the Indians and the Navajo and
Yeah, he was
X Y
he's a
Z.
hippie, innit? Like,
Yeah,
so he was into that alternate stuff, but definitely I want to research more into him as a person. Out of
I,
watching that documentary, that's the thing that interested me most was
the
him.
most.
Like,
Yeah,
it made me respect him so much more, just seeing what he had to deal with and how he dealt with it.
yeah. Greatest one. Definitely one of the greatest. Definitely one of the greatest. All right. So I think that we've spoke quite a bit on the doc. So yeah, let's go back to our bread and butter then. Let's go back to football. Let's go back to football. Obviously, Premier League season probably not gonna. I don't know. We'll see. It might happen. It might not happen, and whatnot. Liverpool might not get their title. Ooh,
Yeah.
I we don't know. But what's your take on that? Do you think they should? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think they should come back? Do you think we're gonna come back?
I think that we're not gonna come back, and I think that we shouldn't come back. Do you know what I mean? And like, I just think there's too many people that it's gonna bother coming back than not coming back. There's way more cons than pros. Do you know what I mean? We've got players' contracts that run till June.
Yeah,
That's one thing. Do you know what I mean? We've got the fact that there's no vaccine for this thing. So it means that people are still going to be getting infected. As you know, when someone gets infected, they say there's a 14-day period where they have to self-isolate. So what happens if we're in the middle of the season starting again and then a player gets diagnosed with COVID? Then what? The whole team's got to self-isolate for 14 days. When do they catch these games up? What happens? Do they forfeit the match? Is it safe? What happens if a player catches it and dies? Then what? Can we sue the league for manslaughter because you put man in a position where they could die knowing that it wasn't safe? Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
As an employer, you're responsible for the safety of your employees. So what happens if someone dies on the watch of the FA? Do you see what I mean? There's too many things.
Too
I
many
just think
things.
that you can't legislate for at a time like this. It doesn't make sense, bro.
But this is why I rate the Premier League for taking their time and just maybe seeing how things pan out instead of like the Bundesliga that have literally just been like, you will come back on May 9th, which is what, next week sometime.
That's not gonna happen.
Boy, do you know what I'm saying? But this is the one thing we got to give to the Premier League, that they've actually done something quite cool here and just been like, do you know what? I know you Liverpool fans want the league. I know how many points you're in front. But right now, we can't confirm or deny anything.
Yeah.
We can't do anything,
They've done the
guys.
political thing though,
Yeah,
innit? They've
they
done the
had to. They
political,
had to plead the fifth on that one, boy. They really had to plead the
like
fifth, boy.
real talk. But I don't think it's coming back. I think they're just trying to buy time to make it look like they're trying their hardest to get it back, so they don't have to pay that TV money back, bro. That's what I think, innit? I think it's down to money. It always is, though. To be
Yeah.
honest, do you know what I mean? And I just honestly think that it's a financial thing that they're still trying to get this back, because I think players in their head, they don't want to play no more, regardless of what they say. This is their summer holidays coming up. They want to spend time with their family. Their
And they
contracts are
started it
running
early.
out. Yeah, their
And they
contracts
started
are
early.
running out and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what, we're gonna play now? Then what happens next season? Like, I'd rather kill the thing, and then even if next season doesn't start till the end of August or September, start it later.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But what's the point in carrying on something that's already 3/4 gone? It's almost dead anyway, bro. Like, it
Now,
doesn't make no difference. The only thing it really affects is teams that were gonna go down.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And teams that were gonna come up. But you know what?
In the
There's
grand
way
scheme of
more
things,
in the
it's the
grand
truth.
scheme of life. So
Yeah,
what,
it's true.
bro?
But do you want to hear my take, Rants,
Yeah,
real quick?
absolutely.
This is why I think it might come back. This is why I think it might. Now, if you're a Liverpool fan that has been waiting for 30 odd years or something like that, and your team is about, or your team is about to go up, or whatever it is, and obviously that parachute money and etc. Like you said, most things come down to money. I think that Liverpool will will sign a petition. And I don't mean Liverpool FC. I mean the city will sign a petition to make sure the Premier League comes back, and the only people that won't back them are people that support Manchester United and Man City.
I don't think so.
That is about it.
No, because all the teams that could possibly get relegated that could stay up will definitely not back them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so.
And the
Oh yeah,
teams that are
West Ham.
mid-table don't give a damn, bro.
Yeah,
They don't give
yeah.
a damn. If you support bloody like Bournemouth, do you give a damn? No.
But they'll just be like, do you know what? It's fine. Let Liverpool have it, or let's do the season for 2 weeks. Let Liverpool win the league, and it's over. I just can't see the Premier League stopping the league for however long.
Bro, outside
When
of Liverpool, no one don't care about Liverpool. I don't
I feel
care,
no,
man.
I feel you. I feel you.
Honestly, but I reckon if Manchester City were top of the league, everyone would be saying, "Oh, just scrap it," because no one cares about Manchester City. But Liverpool got a lot of bias here in the mainstream media,
They do, bro,
whether
but
it's
they do.
journalists,
They
whether
do.
it's like you look at when you look at Sky, do you know what I'm saying? They probably
Yeah,
got
yeah.
like 70% of the pundits. Like Liverpool bias is
No,
everywhere in
but
it. So
Rants, but
because of
Rants,
that, they're trying to bring man back. I
but
reckon if it was
Rants,
City, they would
Rants,
have scrapped it.
Rants. They do, yeah. They have a lot of bias. They have everything, right? But the thing is, it's just because of how close they are to win the league. I don't think they can scrap it.
I
I
think
just
they
can't.
can and they should, bro. Like at the end of the day, the last
They
time the league
should.
was scrapped, last
They
time the league
should.
was scrapped, yeah, was during the war, yeah.
Mm.
And this thing is affecting more people than the war's affecting because it's affecting the whole globe, innit? When
Yeah.
there's wars, it don't affect every single country, bro. Like this is affecting every single country on the planet. So the devastation that this is going to do to the economy and everything, bro. There's some things in life that are bigger than football, innit? This is an ethical thing.
Oh, big time?
You know what
I'm
I'm
with
saying?
you.
This ain't about football, bro.
Listen, Rants.
Football's just
I'm with you,
entertainment, bro.
Rants. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It should be scrapped. It
Yeah.
should be scrapped. But look at what you said. You said about the peas. You said also I said about like Liverpool waiting for how long they've been waiting for and how close they are to win the league. I just think they'll just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and
But I
wait.
think that there has to be a cut-off date because when it starts impacting the start of next season, and then remember the Euros have been pushed to next
Like,
season.
yeah.
So we're going to be pushing things away, like into 2022 and 2023 if we don't put a cut-out date in there. And I don't think we make the cut-out date, bro. I don't think we make it because what happens if we say, all right, cool, we'll restart the league in September? Then what? It don't finish till when? Then what? We start the new season when? In December. And then what happens about the European Championships in the summer? When do we push that back to September? Then we start the league. Nah, it messes up the whole calendar. The most feasible thing to do is just scrap the team. Then everyone can moan because everyone's affected the same if you just scrap it. Do you know what I'm saying? But then if you start giving Liverpool the trophy, then United could turn around and say, "But we're fifth in the league. We've got Rashford fit again. We've got Pogba fit again. We're probably going to get top four, bruv, because we would have won these games. So now you have to give us Champions League football. You can't just do things on what ifs, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? The fact is, Liverpool ain't won the league yet.
But then here's a question for you then. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If and when it does cut, do Liverpool get an enhanced lead or something like that for the next season?
No, because it's a new season, bro.
So they get. I think there's going to be some Liverpool fans coming off just Rants.
But bro, I don't care. Do you know, I don't give a damn. It's just why should they get an enhanced league? That's like saying, all right, cool, I was on 25 goals and they cut the league short next season. So next season, like you might have to give me a 10-goal head start so I can win the Golden Boot again. It's a new league, bro. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, bro. There's some things that are bigger than football, yeah. And if
this is one for sure.
If football's the biggest thing in life to you, yeah, then honestly, yeah, you ain't living it right, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so much to life, so much more to life than football, blood. As much as I love it, yeah, it's not the be all and end all of my life, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people are going on like it's life or death, it's really not life or death, but this COVID thing is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Proper.
Run that. Do you know what I mean? If your team lose a Champions League final, they go again next year, bro.
This is true.
You can't go again next year if you're dead, rude boy.
This is and safety is the most important thing. But as you already know, money makes the world go round. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months.
Absolutely.
So I just want to ask you if you got any takes. What about you? You got any takes? Anything you want to speak about?
I don't know. It's a hard one, bro. Like honestly, I genuinely think, yeah, that nobody nobody outside of supporting Liverpool is really too bothered, isn't it? I think for selfish reasons, we want to see more football because we're bored inside the house, isn't it? Like, I want to see the NBA playoffs. Like, I'm annoyed that ain't, like, we didn't get to see that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, there's loads of different things that we want to see. There's no Wimbledon. Do you know what I mean? There's no Glastonbury. Loads of things are getting
yeah.
cancelled, bro.
Everything
Like,
is getting.
Liverpool fans are not the only people getting shagged. If you spend over £2 on a Glastonbury ticket, yeah, you're probably not going to get that back.
Yeah, you
Do
have
you
to
know what
wait
I'm
for the next
saying?
Glastonbury
You
or
have to wait
something.
for the next one. They'll say you can go to the next one. I spent nearly a bag, yeah, for my birthday, yeah, on like some big spa retreat thing for a whole weekend, yeah. They locked off everything. I spent my birthday inside my house. Like,
Oh
do you
yeah,
know what
by
I'm
the
saying?
way, hey, happy belated, my friend. Happy
My guy,
belated. I
respect,
hope
bro.
you listen. I hope you actually enjoyed your birthday and you got a little
Yeah,
bit
bro,
crunk up and
I had
that.
my tequila and that. I was in my yard, bro.
Yes, sir.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? And like, they're now saying, yeah, I've got a year from when they reopen to use it again. But if it's not my birthday, I don't want to use it now. So I'm gonna have to wait till my next birthday to use it. I'm not just
Yeah,
gonna go on a random Saturday. Do you
I
see
feel
what
you.
I'm saying?
I feel you. I
So
feel you.
I was vexed about that, and it's just one of them things, bro. Like, this is inconveniencing everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
So like,
We
you
all got
can't
we all
really
got to play our
complain.
part. We all got to play our
All
part,
got to
right?
play a part. This is a global thing that's going on. This isn't just, no one's doing it to spite you, bro. Like,
Yeah,
everyone's being affected by this. And if you're not being affected by this in terms of like financially or convenience, right, you're in a very, very small minority.
yeah. Very privileged position in X, Y,
Very
Z.
privileged. And you need to remember that. So because of that, like, literally, like, we can't really have sympathy for them, man. There, and obviously it would be nice for me if they don't win it as well. But
This is true.
that there's more to life than just seeing the misery of them, man, in it. Like, it's a
Yeah.
serious issue. Do you know what
All
I
right,
mean?
all right. So back onto sports, and I think this one we'll end it on this one. Who was the best player in the Premier League of this year, I suppose. Last year. You know what I mean. 2019-2020 season. Who was the best Premier League player of the year for yourself? And
Bro,
explain
you know
why.
why I don't like these questions? The
Hit
reason why I
me.
don't like these questions, yeah, is because context is everything
Hmm.
in football, yeah. And you know what a lot of football fans do, yeah? They always go with who the media go with.
Yeah.
People don't realize how influential, especially the mainstream media, are. They control the narrative on certain players. Do you know what I'm saying? There was a time where everyone hated Raheem Sterling. Now everyone loves him just because the media decided to change how they reported on him. That's all.
Shout out Black Twitter for that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the only reason why the man started getting off Sterling's back, because they went from wanting him to get kicked out of the England squad because of a tattoo to now saying, "Oh, he's such a nice guy," this, that, and the other. Now all of a sudden, everyone loves man. So all the people that didn't like him now like him just because the media decided that actually we're going to report him differently.
Yeah. But
Same thing
Rants, who's
happens with football
yours?
players. No,
Who's
no. So
yours?
listen. So what I'm saying is, yeah, context is everything, bro. Because we could look at it and say, "Yo, who's the best player?" Yeah, but then we could say, who's the best player of the best team or the top teams, bro? Because there's arguments for players like Danny Ings, yeah, who
Yeah.
scored bare goals, yeah, for small clubs to be up there. It's just like when we do manager of the season. For me, it has to be it has to be Wilder, bro. It
Okay.
has to be Wilder because what he's done with the players he's got is more impressive than what Klopp's doing to me. It's more impressive than what Pep's doing for me. But Klopp will win it because Klopp's got the better players. He's got one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league, and he's the best manager in the world for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, Wilder's manager of the season. So it's all about context, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Listen. I feel you. I feel you. I'm with you.
if I'm saying, yeah, what player was doing absolute bitch, yeah, for a team that maybe they didn't really have a right to be doing it for, then you could look at players like Danny Ings. You could look at maybe a Adama Traore who got into the team of the season playing for Wolves, even though
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for me, he wasn't it. But
Okay.
you can look at players like that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? You can look at who else would I say outside of the obvious players? Would I say he's had a good season? Dean Henderson in goal as well at Sheffield United had a very good season. There's just loads of random players, but for me, everyone's gonna say De Bruyne because
Yeah.
it's Man City, or they're gonna say like flipping Mo Salah or something because it's Liverpool. But for me, them man are operating at that level in a system with players around them that you should expect that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel you to a certain degree, but the fact that yes, they do have these, like they do have that team, and you're still the best. It's like I've got to give it to De Bruyne. For me, I'm being a midfielder. I love the way he plays. I love the way that how he sprays the ball and what he can do with the football. So maybe I have a biased view on that one, but
Mm,
I will say this is that, like, yeah, of course. See, if we're talking manager of of the season, I totally agree. What he's done with the players that he has is ridiculous. But if we're talking about pure ballers, so in the best, for me, I always look at it this way: if in the best team you can still do what you're doing and be that guy. And I like the way he just handles himself. He's like, I don't want the attention. I don't want any of this media malarkey. I just want to play my football, do my thing, score some goals, get some
yeah, but you
assists,
say that, but he came
and
out the
leave.
other day and was like, "Yo, if City get a ban, yeah, in Europe, I might dip, fam." And he just
No,
said
no,
that
but
the other
he's entitled to that.
day.
That's fine. Come
No,
Manchester
I hear
United.
you.
That's fine.
But you said that he was just minding his own business. But he does say it. But the thing is, you know what it is? It's about
Go on.
perceptions of players, isn't it? Like I said to you, the perception of Lionel
He
Messi,
don't say much though.
that he's not arrogant. That's the perception, but that's not the reality. It was the same with Zidane, yeah.
Mm.
Zidane never done interviews, never spoke. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's such a nice, humble guy." Then he just headbutt that, fam. And then you
Nah,
thought,
but he
"Wow,
deserve.
Zidane's on
Man
grass."
deserved that though.
He did
Man
deserve it.
nah.
I was celebrating the headbutt. Facts are, Zidane's been a savage, bro. When you watch
Yeah, yeah,
Zidane's career, he's been stamping on man for time. It's just that because he don't talk much, people are like, "Oh, he's a nice guy." Zidane's a savage, bro. So you gotta understand, because
yeah.
certain man don't say anything, I don't get bored. I don't buy into
Yeah,
the fact that man don't say things. Like Paul Scholes never spoke much, and now as a pundit, he speaks a lot, and most of
yeah.
his speaks is rubbish, bro. And I'm like, this is
Well,
why you didn't speak, bro.
well, hear me
You're
out.
one of the greatest midfielders of all time, but when you open your mouth, I'm
I feel you, but hear me out.
like,
With the brain, yeah. And you're right. We don't know. We'll never know at the end of the day. Man don't know him personally, and man will probably never know him personally.
yeah,
But what I mean by that is this. I like the fact that he gets on with what he's getting on with. He's one of the best at his craft, and he lets his football do the talking more than the other stuff. Not
yeah.
and that's just him. The same way I love the way that Paul Pogba will say, "I'm gonna stick it top bins," and does it. And I'm gonna have dye on my hair, and I'm gonna do step overs in the middle of the park, and you still can't get the ball off me. So, like you said, different players, how they are, and X, Y, Z. But I just like the way that he moves for himself, and it seems like that's what he is like. And I like
I
that, man.
think
I
Brent
just
is
appreciate it.
wavy. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, yeah, when it comes to personalities, yeah, I always keep that out of the conversation with football, bro, because we don't know these people, innit? So, like, the perceived personality, I always keep that out of it, and I just look at purely the football. Purely the
yeah.
football, for me, yeah, you're talking about De Bruyne, he's one of the best players in the Premier League, without a doubt, innit? But for me, that's not the question I hear when man says, right, he's been the best player, because we already know that he's probably the best player. But I'm looking at men that are doing stuff at clubs that really they should not be doing it at, bro. Like if you're at a club
Yeah,
like that's in the bottom half of the table and you're banging 20 goals, it's like, bro, you're having a wavy season. If you're Kevin De Bruyne in that Manchester City team, yeah, and you're throwing up wavy numbers, it's good, but you're kind of meant to be doing that. If you do understand what I'm saying.
yes, I do. I fully understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I just feel like whatever team you put De Bruyne in, I feel like he'd be the best. That's and like you see, like Mo Salah and XYZ. I feel like they need that system.
See, I don't know. No, I feel like no, but see, that's an I don't agree though, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like KDB needs that system, bro. Because that system, yeah, that he plays in at Manchester City, where he plays as an inside right winger, because he doesn't play centre mid for Man City.
yeah, yeah,
You look at the heat maps, you look at everything. When man's whipping them crosses in, it's from the inside right. He almost plays right midfield like where Beckham used to play, bro. Like just inside off the touchline, and he playmakes from inside right. He's not a central midfielder. Do you know what I mean? So he gets compared to central midfielders when actually the role that he plays in is very specific to the Pep system, and not many other players in world football actually play that, because it's the system that allows him the freedom. Because when you look at the stats, he receives the ball unopposed more times than central midfielders, because the middle of the park's congested. But KDB receives the ball here.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And it pays. Don't
so
get me wrong.
it's
Sorry. My bad.
yeah,
My bad.
yeah. So it's different, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like when man are comparing players, you need to compare them positionally as well. I feel like the system does benefit him a lot, just like I feel like the Liverpool system benefits Mo Salah a lot. I think if you put Mo Salah in another team and just say, I play on the right hand side, he don't look the same because you don't have Bobby dropping in, making these runs, drawing people out so you get the space that you need. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them ones where I think that a lot of top players can put their football down to systems as well. Lionel Messi's another one, bro. Like Lionel Messi in a blue and white shirt don't look the same as in a red and blue shirt, bro. He don't.
Well, this would be, like, I got to disagree here with, especially only with KDB. Messi, you even got that because if you put him again, like you said, Argentina shirt, yeah, he ain't doing exactly the same thing as he's doing for Barcelona. But the one thing about KDB is that we have to make sure, like when he was at Wolfsburg and he was playing in a higher, like maybe a bit more of a cam position, just a little bit higher, he was still doing those numbers. He was still
No, he was
do
doing
you know what I'm saying?
bits.
He's
He was
doing
a
bits.
very efficient
So let me
footballer.
finish. Let me finish my point. So my
Yeah.
point being is this: I feel like the reason why he is the best. I'm not saying like Mo Salah or XYZ. I'm not saying about like thing. I just mean KDB himself. I feel like with him, whether it's in a system, whether it's go play out on the right or the left or in the center, I feel like his work rate and efficiency is probably almost the best that I've seen in a lot. Like honestly,
Yeah.
he can go to the, like you said, you are like obviously it's the game plan. He's amazing at crossing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna free up the space on the right, whipping and whatnot. So they know what they obviously they know exactly what they're doing. But if you tell him, okay, for this game you're playing here, or for this game you're playing here, I even think he could do a job centre forward, like Bobby Firmino style. I think he could do
Boy, I don't know about all that, bro. I don't know about
it.
that. But even if you put him like in the bottom of the double pivot, yeah, I think you lose so much from Kevin De Bruyne's game. I just feel like Kevin De Bruyne is an attacking
Mhm.
midfield player. That's what he is, isn't it? Like, make no mistake about it. Like, he's not like a box-to-box centre mid. He's not. Like, loads of people getting him confused in conversation. If you watch Kevin De Bruyne play, he's very much an attacker. Do you know what I'm saying? So he can play the inside right. He can play in like that 10 position because he's just an attacker, bro. He might be built like a central midfielder because he's 6 foot plus and he's quite dynamic, but he's an attacking midfielder, bro. So when you play him attacking on the right hand side or in the hole, he's gonna produce those numbers. He's a beast there, isn't it? Like he is a machine, bro. He just churns out consistent numbers in it, and that's why you
Yeah,
can't really argue with De Bruyne, bro. Like you can't argue with it, like from that point of view. But I think that when he does very basic things, yeah, it gets overly celebrated because of
yeah,
all of the
the hype.
hype around him. Do you know what I mean? When he's doing stuff that you see other midfielders doing, do you know what I mean? People always like to compare him to Pogba, but forget all that. Like when De Bruyne might make like a standard, like 6 yard pass down the line, it's like, oh my god, look at that, and it's just like, fam, like, do you know what I mean? Wijnaldum been doing that. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Got you.
I'm
It's
gonna
true
get
though.
gassed off that.
It's true though. It's true, and that's why that's like I don't like. I will say this. I definitely not like that. But how he affects the game and stuff like that. But that's enough for KDB and
Mm.
whatnot. I
But
do
does he
want,
feel it? Yeah, but Bernardo Silva, he's another
yeah.
player, yeah, bro.
But
In terms of affecting
sorry.
games, bro, the
Mhm,
guy's different. You know,
mhm.
like when you watch him play, his football IQ, his movement, the weight of everything is brilliant. But he's a player that kind of goes under the radar. The way they celebrated David Silva,
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva's levels, bro.
yeah. I
And
agree.
he's a player that man don't really talk about because his name ain't as sexy. Like it doesn't get man excited.
But his
Do you
name's
see what I mean?
Bernardo, isn't it? So
Do you know what I mean? But that's it. So I just think with football as well, a lot of the time, people's perceptions of players and who the media's bums are on, yeah, that's where people try and go. Like even the Sterling thing, man, were like, oh yeah, all of a sudden, look, 2 seasons ago, everyone was like, yeah, Sterling's world class. Before that, man, were like, oh yeah, like we don't like him. He's bought his mum a house and that. Now all of a sudden he's world class. Now Jordan Henderson's in player like team of the year and that. Like
yeah,
there's just like whoever the media tells you is kind of the guy. A lot of people try and jump on that. So I try and just let these.
yeah, yeah. The eye
Do you know what I
test.
mean?
The eye
The
test.
eye test, bruv. Like, forget the stats really. Like, the stats are there to put a game beside the eye test to say, yo, what I'm seeing, is it valid? Do you know what I mean? But
Mm,
a lot of the time, a lot of these stats have no context to them.
I feel
You know
you.
what I mean? And that's why you get players like Henderson in conversations he don't belong in.
Yeah, I think we both agree on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I think we should wrap it up here. Give it
Yeah.
and see. You know, I think it's been a great episode.
Yeah,
For the
absolutely.
first show. This is our first show, Rants. This is gonna go
Bro,
down in
first of
history,
many,
bro.
bro. First of many. Trust me. We'll look back on this after we done 50 and just be like,
Yes, sir.
boy,
It's
you know
gonna
what I'm saying?
be mad, bro. Let's see what people be saying. Again, guys, if you disagree, agree,
Bro, let
put
us
it
know in the
put it in the
comments.
comments. Let us
That's
know.
what I mean. Let us know what you think about the documentary if you've seen it. Do you know what I mean? About Jordan, about Phil Jackson, about the Rodman, Pippen situation. Let us know about your player of the season. You know what I mean? And it can be inside the top six or outside or even both. Do you know what I mean? Who's your player? Because I'm more interested in hearing about the players that you think has had a great season outside of the obvious names.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hear the Rashfords or do you know what I mean? The De Bruyne's or whatever. Like anyone can say that, but like who has really surprised you outside of the main teams, bro? Because genuinely, those are the players that are carrying their teams, innit?
Mm.
Like they're carrying their teams. If you play for Man City, you're not carrying Man City, bro. If you play for Liverpool, you're not carrying Liverpool, bro. Like if you're
Yeah.
playing for Watford, you're carrying man. If you're firing them man out of relegation zones and that, like Jack Grealish was carrying Aston Villa to an extent. Do you know what I'm saying?
But we're gonna talk about Grealish on the next episode, boy, cause
You see
yeah.
what I'm saying? So let us know about that as well. Let us know in the comment section, guys. Make sure you add up the socials as well. Wills, tell them your socials, bro.
Yeah, so Instagram, Andrew Wills, so ANDREW WILLZ, and on Twitter, Andrew F Wills, so ANDREWFWILLZ.
There you go. And it's at Rants and Bants on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Rants and Bants official on Twitch if you want to see man raging at Fortnite. Do you know what I'm saying?
We need a FIFA game, bro.
Bro, I don't play FIFA. I play PES in it, but we could play a FIFA game anyway. I don't
You
know.
play PES? I mean, I haven't played PES since God knows when, but
Bro,
we
it's
can we
so
can do it too.
wavy, blood. It's so wavy. I love it, man. It just feels real, bro. FIFA don't feel real to me. FIFA's an arcade game, innit? Like it's
I
not a football
mean,
game.
yeah, this. Let me not say too much. But yeah,
I'm
all
saying.
right. It's
But
been
yeah, bro.
Will's
Yeah, it's been
rants.
rants. It's been emotional.
Yes, sir. And we out.